Hello, my name is Hulya Onel and I'm a naturalist at Walter B. Jacobs Memorial Nature Park, which is one of Caddo Parish parks. And I'm going to talk about some animal tracks today. Have you ever wondered how many animals visit your backyard when you're not paying attention? You would be surprised. Maybe you think nobody is, but you would be surprised to see how many wild animals are visiting your backyard while you're not paying attention. There are a handful of animals that live in suburban or even urban areas where people and houses are all around. They come and visit sometimes at night, sometimes during the day. I'm going to mention this handful of animals that we often see in our neighborhood, even in your backyard or in a park near your house, in your neighborhood park. These ones are gray squirrel and cottontail rabbit. Gray squirrels, if you have a bird feeder in your backyard, they're going to be there for the food. They're going to do all kinds of tricks to get to the food. And you can observe them, and even if you're not at home, you can see their tracks, which I will show you later. And cottontail rabbits. You can see their tracks. Their tracks look very similar. Back feet are long, elongated, and front paws are very short. But you have to follow their gait to see which one is which. You can mistake one for the other. Eastern cottontail gait is they never put two front feet together side by side. One of them is always in front of the other, and then they hop their back feet to the front of the front feet. In fact, this rabbit is going this way. So these are the front feet, one in front of the other, and these are the back feet. So they keep hopping, putting one foot down and then the other one in the front, and then move their back feet to the front. So if you see their trail, it is like this. Eastern gray squirrel, on the other hand, puts both its front feet side by side. Here is the difference. Gray squirrel, cottontail rabbit. Cottontail rabbit's front feet is one in front of the other. Squirrel's is side by side. So that's one. And the other very common animal that we see, even if we're living downtown, you're gonna see the raccoons, because they come for the food. Raccoons are omnivores. They eat anything you eat. They eat, so your leftover food that you throw into trash is perfect takeaway for them. And their footprint, however, can be mistaken with the other very common animal that we have in Louisiana, which would be the Virginia possum. They both look like human hands, but Virginia possum is the only animal that has opposable thumb other than primates, and raccoon doesn't have that. Raccoon's footprints look like tiny human hands, and they gait like this, back feet in the back of the opposite front feet. So with the Virginia possum and the raccoon, the opposable thumb is the differentiating part. When it comes to canines and felines, of course we have cats, domestic cats and dogs. We have our pets. You can mistake them with the coyotes and foxes. It would be, by the way, a good idea to learn what lives in your neighborhood or in your area. For example, if you're living in Shreveport and Bossier, when you see a canine footprint, a big one, don't think, whoa, it is a wolf, because we don't have wolf living in Louisiana or in Bossier and Shreveport area. So it could be either a fox or a coyote. When you follow their gait, wild animals, the fox and the coyote, will always follow a straight line. This is it's a wolf trail gait, but you know, coyotes walk the same way, and this is a fox, pretty much straight. The dogs zigzag or move around, they sniff around, the wild animals don't move around too much. They follow a straight line because it prevents waste of energy. The basic difference between fox, for example, and coyote, wild canines footprint, and domestic dogs is the wild canines, feet are slender and all toes move forward. The dogs is a little bit rounder and they kind of look fatter rather than slim. And of course, the other most common animal we have in Louisiana is deer. You cannot miss deer footprint, that upside down heart-shaped. And of course, if you live in a farm or near a farm, you will see some hog, which is round. Deer track is slender. It looks like upside heart. Here is the difference: hog and deer. I think these are the animals that you can see even if you live in an urban area in Shreveport and Bossier. These are the tracks that you're going to most probably see. But you don't have to move to a park or go really far away from your home. In your backyard, if you don't have any soil, if it is full of flowers and grass, you can prepare a track trap or a track pit in your backyard. Let me show you how it will look. Okay, here is what we have in our park. In case of emergency, if we can't see any animal tracks because it is too dry, no muddy area, no soft soil, so we have this. If we wonder who has been around our building, we prepared this animal track pit. So it is very simple. You can do it in your backyard to see your own animal tracks. Just 2x4s, like 4x4 feet. Sand pool. Just fill it in with sand. And the trick is you have to leave it at night. You have to really smooth it. It has to be really smooth, and then it has to be wet. You can spray some water so it is wet. And in the morning, you have to see, first thing in the morning, come and check who has been in your backyard while you were asleep. Okay, now let me check who has been in my pit. Oh my God, I can see some raccoons very clearly. There are I see a lot of tracks, but I think it wasn't that wet. It must have dried very fast. So I can see some raccoon prints very clearly, and I see some other ones. That's what happens when it is not really wet sand. So in the dry parts, you just see some dents in the sand. But here I can see a couple of very nice raccoons, which are very common in our area. I know they are raccoons because I can see their digits. But there are other signs that you can say, even if you don't see the print, you see the sign. See these little holes here? Squirrels do that. They dig to hide their acorns. Okay, now let's go see what kind of animal tracks we'll see on our trails. Here is a muddy area. If you paid attention, I just stopped when I saw the muddy area because I don't want to be strolling into the mud and stepping on the trails that I'm trying to find. Okay, so let's put the glasses back on. Okay, so I'm looking very carefully and I can see some. Okay, there's a trail here, there's a track. Oh, whoa, okay, I almost stepped on it. There is a canine, canine here because I know it is not round like the feline would, and I can see the toenails of one of the foot. Not all of them, but it is there. Even one is good enough to identify that it's a canine and not a feline. Felines retract their nails, claws, so you don't see the print of the claws. But this is a small one. Maybe it is a fox, a gray fox, or a red fox. Gray fox is a little bit bigger than red fox. So gray fox and coyote could be, so this could be either gray fox or a coyote. We have lots of gray foxes and coyotes in our park. And bobcats too. Hopefully we will find one in bobcats. So I'm being very careful in this muddy area, try to see. I'm walking on the part that I can't see even if there is a trail, but I'm looking, I'm trying to find the soft spots because that's where the trails are gonna be. Oh, here it is. There is a deer track here. You know, deers are ungulates and they have two long, they walk on their nails, in fact, toenails. Cats and dogs walk on their toes. Ungulates walk on their toenails. So these are its evolved toenails that where they walk on. So you will see two heart-shaped tracks on the ground, and they have dew claws, but unless it is really soft and they dig in, you won't see the sign of them. So in these ones I don't see because it is not really that soft. So there are tracks here. And let's see what's on this side, if anyone is going. There are some more deer tracks here. So deer has been this way. Of course, there are lots of undergrowth here. Fresh, green forest is full of food. And most probably they were grazing here. And I'm going to show you lastly, I think this is good enough that we have found. Did I just step on my, okay, here is my track. I would like to show you, if you've ever find a track in your track pit in your backyard or on your trail, on the park, if you go to a nearby park, I will show you how to take the mold of a track and take it home with you to show your friends and brag about it. This is plaster of Paris, and just follow the instructions to make your mold. And there are measurements. Follow the instructions. It depends on how much you want. Just mix it real well and pour it very carefully on your trails. So pour more than one. So, you forgot to show the track, the real track. You didn't show it near.
We can show one, you can do your mold and we can show it like that.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's another one here. While you're showing the mold, you will be able to show both of them. So these are the two ones that I molded. I'm trying to mold. Okay, don't show this part, of course. I'm trying to. Okay. Now we're going to wait until the mold hardens. Okay, here is two molds that I poured, and here is the third track that we have seen, and there's another one here. So he must have walked this way. Like I said, it's a canine because I can see the toes are forward. It is not splattered around like a fat looking like a dog, because people bring here their dogs to walk on our trails too, but this is absolutely not a dog. It's most probably it's either a coyote or gray fox maybe. You know, there are two kinds of foxes, gray fox and red fox. Gray foxes live in the wooded areas. That's why they are gray, because they live in the tree cones, so they camouflage with the bark. The red foxes are the ones that's going to be near your house, because they like living close to humans, because that protects them from their predator and competitor, coyotes. If they are closer to the humans, the coyote won't come to get them. And they are red because they are diggers. They make their nest in the soil. So if you can see a foxhole, and you can watch them hop around. If you're living in a, if you live in if you have an open area in the back of your house, they're gonna be there. So you're gonna wait until this mold hardens, and then we're gonna take it out and show you what it will look like to take home. This is how it's gonna look like. I know it is not a dog print because the toes are forward and kind of slender, and I know it is not a feline either because it has, you can see the little toenails, and the back pad is like a chevron. You know, you can tell if it's a cat or feline or a canine trail or track by, with the canines you can put an X mark between the pads. With the felines, you can between the toes and the pad you can make a C. You can't put an X, it will overlap the pad. Well, that's it for today. See you next time.